the results showed for itself. Wow, 2:11. My gosh, I still cannot get over that time.
Yeah. Okay, we've got our final event of the evening. Unfortunately, just six events today in the pool, and we'll have a listen now to who the swimmers are.
Number 1, Nguyễn Hữu Kim Sơn. Number 2, Nguyễn Huy Hoàng. Number 3, Hoàng Quý Phước. Number 4, Trần Hưng Nguyên.
Ô số 3 là các vận động viên đến từ Indonesia.
Lane 3.
Vietnam going with a four that we expected, and they put their faster ones into lanes 2 and 3.
Singapore.
Lane 4, Singapore.
Indonesia
Number 1,
will come later,
Jonathan
and
Tan.
Singapore.
Number 2, Linh Lan. Number 3, Joseph Isaac Spui. And number 4, Hoa Jin Wei.
And Gary, of course,
Ô số 5 các vận động viên đến từ
acceding to the request of
Malaysia.
putting Joe in this race, and he is going to be the third leg.
Number 1, Wilson Sim Guishang. Number 2, Lin Tran Zim. Number 3, Avin Singh Chahal. Number 4, Ho Yan Kyu.
So Malaysia have put their
Ô số 6
fastest
các vận động viên đến
and their
từ
second fastest in lanes 1 and legs 1 and 4.
Number 1, Adrian Philip Eichler. Number 2, Donovan Play Lama. Number 3, Jaden Kristen Olsen. And number 4, Jonathan Sebastian Cook.
Và ô số 7 là các vận động viên đến từ Thái Lan.
And Thailand make up the field now.
Thailand. Number 1, Dunjawat Kelsey Young. Number 2, Supa Sangao Warawang. Number 3, Ratawit Nam Thammanachon. Number 4, Tonam Katemon.
So the four that we expected from Vietnam will be swimming for them in lane number 7. I believe Indonesia have not made the field for this. And that actually leaves a lane open between Singapore and Vietnam. Surely, Mark, it'll be between those two countries
Quý
for
vị
this
khán
event.
giả xin vui lòng
Yeah,
ghi là
I think it'll be close. I think, but I have faith in our four boys. We lead off with Jonathan Tan. He's known to be a 50-meter sprinter, but you know what? He can really put together a very respectable 200 meters freestyle, and you can expect him to go out fast.
Our four swimmers have all dipped below 150. Vietnam's 3 or 4 have dipped below 150. That's how close this race is supposed to be. Vietnam starting things off with Nguyen Hu Kim Son, who's got a personal best of 150.07. Singapore starting off with Jonathan Tan, 148.70 is his personal best. Malaysia probably might take the early lead here with Wilson Sim as their lead-off swimmer. 147.36 is his personal best. Eichler of the Philippines. And then for Thailand, lane number 7, Tuliawat, who is very much a 100-meter swimmer more than anything else. 154.71, his personal best, swims and takes the early lead after the first 50 meters. At Malaysia, as we'd expect with Wilson in the pool, might just get off to a very good start here, Mark.
Yeah, no, but Wilson, I mean, he's going out fast, but I would definitely expect Johnny to come back in the next 100. Wilson doesn't look that great. I mean, he looks as if he's galloping a little bit. Maybe he's carrying an injury. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think he is doing well for Malaysia.
Just half a body length behind. Jonathan Tan trying to judge this one perfectly and use his speed for the final 50 meters where he can really rocket everything off. And Nguyen Hu Kim Song, who is always a very strong finisher for Vietnam, also in the mix in lane at number 2. Slowly creeping up and catching up on Wilson now. Wilson swims tomorrow in the 200 meters freestyle. Johnny doesn't. Johnny turns in first place, just slightly ahead of Wilson. Has he given too much in the first 100 meters, Wilson? But Jonathan Tan, Mark, you'd have to say, has judged this one superbly.
Yeah, he again, the 200 meters is a long sprint. You don't want to gas out in the first 100. And Johnny, of course, we know that he has a back end speed to come back, and he has that speed, that raw speed. And good touches, safe takeovers, and that's what we want. 149.5.
That is a very quick time as he hands it over to Glenn Lim, who's got a personal best of 4:49.02. Now Vietnam have got Nguyen Huy Quang, who's already a gold medalist in the 1500 and 400 meters freestyle in the pool for them now. His personal best time in the 200 meters freestyle is 1:49 flat, so just slightly better than Glenn's. He is swimming tomorrow as well in the 200 meters freestyle. So let's see what sort of a form he's going to take. As always with the Vietnamese, they save their best for the final 100. Glenn is holding that lead against Malaysia. We've got Lim Yin on the pool. He's another sub 150 swimmer. That's Glenn is doing superbly well. His personal best time 1:49.02, remember. And at the halfway stage of his leg, Singapore still in the lead, Mark.
I think for Glenn, he has that distance pace. My only concern is whether he went out fast enough, right? He can definitely come back. Yesterday we saw him in action in the 400. I think he got a bronze medal right there. And he just needs to keep pace and maintain that intensity through that last 75.
Lim Yin is trimming the lead. The crowd are going crazy because they can see the furious kicking coming from lane number 2 of Huy Quang, who is slowly caught up and probably his turn in first position has, oh my goodness, the walls, the glasses are going to crack here at the Median Aquatic Center because Nguyen Huy Quang has come from out of nowhere, as he has done throughout these SEA Games, and Vietnam are slowly in the lead at the moment, and he's going to hand it over to two-time SEA Games champion Wang Ki Phuoc. We all know that Vietnam are going to be strong. They're going to put a charge in for these games, and they have put their best swimmers in legs 2 and 3. Now leg number 2 hasn't disappointed them. Leg number 3 for Singapore is Joseph Schooling. He plunges into the pool, this time chasing after Wang Ki Phuoc, one of the best swimmers in Southeast Asia in the 200 meters freestyle. This is going to be a huge race, Mark, for Team Singapore now to retain this crown, which they've won for 8 consecutive games.
Yeah, and if you're going to face off the reigning Southeast Asian champion, you face him off together with Joseph Schooling, right? We know that Joseph has it with it. He's our national record holder. He can definitely go a 147 if he wants to. And he's in really good form. I think that he'll be able to hold his pace.
Well, sometimes the crowd going behind you might just be a detriment because you might just go out a little too strong. Ki Phuoc certainly went out very strong in the early stages in the first 50 and maintains that body length lead over Joe. And Joe's got it all to do now in his final 100 of his leg. Still maintaining that lead over Malaysia. We've got Zheng Yong in the pool. 150-140 is his personal best time. Has Joe gone out a little too quickly in the first 100 meters? Well, he needs to trim the lead a little bit and give Kwa Tung Nguyen an opportunity in the final leg, because Vietnam's final leg, 150-150. So they don't have the best of their swimmers in their final leg. Joe, though, is being caught by Malaysia at the moment. And he's just 0.04 seconds ahead of the Malaysian. He hasn't swum a lot of 200 meters races over the last couple of years, and maybe the rust is showing here. But Vietnam are 2 body lengths ahead of Team Singapore at the moment. In fact, if anything else, the Malaysian has caught up with Joe Schooling, and they have their best swimmer in the 200 meters freestyle in the final leg in Kieu Ho Yen. So Wang Ki Phuoc hands over for Team Vietnam to Tran Hung Nguyen, already a double gold medalist at these games, and he plunges into the pool with a huge lead over Malaysia, and Singapore are in 3rd position at the moment, Mark.
Yeah, but we have Kwa Tung Nguyen as our anchor, and he'll definitely be able to do well here. It looked quite tough for Joseph, especially in the last 50. Maybe it's a conditioning thing, or he hasn't been racing in this event all that often. But we have Kwa Tung Nguyen here as the anchor, and he's definitely having a great race with our Malaysian counterparts there.
Ho Yen it is of Malaysia, a swimmer who has gone 148.77, 148.29, the personal best time for Tung Nguyen. But Vietnam are way ahead at the moment, and surely Hung Nguyen is not going to lose this lead unless Kwa Tung Nguyen has something special in his armory, in his box, to trim this 2.5 body length lead. The gold medal will be going to Vietnam, and Singapore might have to settle or even battle for silver at the moment because Zhengwen has ceded that lead to Ho Yen, who is finishing off very strongly. The Vietnamese crowd are pumped. They are going absolutely crazy. We all knew that this was going to be their best chance at a gold medal in the relay. Well, they won relay on the first night after a couple of disqualifications. This time, fair and square, no disqualifications. They won it on merit, and they've won it with a crack squad, gunning after the SEA Games record as well of 7:17.88. Singapore have lost their gold medal, and they will lose the SEA Games record as well. 7:16.31 is the new SEA Games record, and Vietnam finally winners of a relay gold for the first time in SEA Games history. What a quartet this is. They have been training for the last couple of years, especially with stints in Hungary, to take this gold away from Singapore. And finally, in front of the partisan crowd here at the Medan Aquatic Center, these four men have done it. Give credit where it's due, Mark. That was a great swim from the Vietnamese quartet.
Absolutely, that was an electric swim from all of them. You know, you can tell that they wanted this. They've trained hard for this. They really deserve this. You know, they really set themselves in a good position to win, and they did. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed with our Singapore quartet, but you know what? They tried their best, definitely, and we definitely need to get behind our boys. And really, 7:21 is a very respectable time.
That's the new meet record, 7:16.31. They have shaved 1.57 seconds off the time clocked by Zhengwen, Joe, Johnny, and Darren Chua at the last SEA Games. Disappointment then